Okay guys, continuing the previous video, we did till point number 4, features. Now we take point number 5, 6 and 7, so that in the next class we can start with the practical part. Now the 5th point, partnership deed. As I mentioned, I've repeated this already 3 to 4 times. It is nothing but an agreement between the partners, written or oral. As I told you, 99% of the people will prefer it as a written agreement. Now see what it says. Again, as I told you, this comes in objective also. What is partnership deed? It is an agreement between the partners containing the terms and conditions for smooth working of the partnership firm. It may be written or oral. Written is preferred more, so that disputes can be solved easily. Now see, contents. Content मतलब पार्टनरशिप डीड में what all should come, पार्टनरशिप डीड में क्या क्या होना चाहिए. Let's take one by one. First, name and address of the firm and its main business. The name of the firm, address, where the firm is located, and its main business. What are they into? Suppose the partners form a firm saying that we will start with a cloth business, so they have to mention that their mainstream of business will be dealing in cloth. Second, name and address of all the partners and duration of partnership firm. Whoever are the owners, you have to give their full details. What is their name, what are their addresses and duration. It is difficult to give the duration because you never know. Business can go on for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, lifetime bhi chal sakta hai. So it is upon the partners to mention in the partnership deed the minimum duration. They'll say, okay, minimum 5 years to hum log continue karenge. So they have to mention minimum 5 years. Duration will vary upon the individual understanding between the partners. Next, capital contribution of all the partners. Which partner is bringing how much capital? Say for example, 3 partners are there. One might say, okay, I'll bring 5 lakhs, other will bring 3 lakhs, other will bring 2 lakhs, or all of them can bring equally. 2 of them can get higher contribution, one will get less. So whatever is the contribution they decide, they have to tell, okay, this is the contribution of each partner. It has to be mentioned in the partnership deed. Ratio in which profits and losses are to be shared. Whatever is the profit or losses, it has to be shared between the partners. If not specific ratio given, then it has to be equally. Same points. Rights, duties and liabilities of the partners. As I mentioned, this partner will look after this. This is his responsibility, and liability, as you mentioned, it is unlimited. Next, provisions related to admission, retirement, death, etc. of a partner. Aage jaake you have all these 3 chapters: admission of partner, retirement, death. I mentioned the base in the previous introduction. Then 12. Admission means what? There are 2 partners, third one comes in. New partner coming in is called as admission. Retirement, there are 3 partners. One partner says, I cannot continue, mera health issues hai, or I don't want to continue for any reason. He is out, that is called as retirement. And death means, unfortunately, a death of a partner takes place, so that is death. So admission means a new partner comes in the business. Retirement mein one existing partner leaves, he is still alive, he leaves due to some or the other reason, and death mein unfortunate death takes place, that is death. So all the provision of this has to be mentioned. Later on we will study in detail all the 3. There's a separate chapter admission, there's a separate chapter retirement, there's a separate chapter death. Then, rate of interest on capital, loans and drawings. When a partner gives loans, the firm has to decide what interest is to be given. Capital contribution, we have done in SYJC. If you start a business, you need money. Owner ka money is coming in the business. Remember, yaad hai concept of separate entity, business entity concept. Owner and the business are 2 separate things. A partner is bringing money and giving it to the business. So business is using partner ka money, they will pay interest. Same way drawings. Partner will withdraw money from the firm for his personal use. So the partner will take interest from him. So interest on drawings, interest on capital, interest on loan, all these provisions have to be mentioned in the partnership deed. Next, salary, commission, etc. if payable to partners. Partners will be sharing profits loss. In addition to sharing of profit loss, partners can be given an additional salary or commission. If some partner is putting some extra effort, he can be given extra salary. But if any salary or commission is to be given, then that has to be specifically mentioned in the partnership deed. Without mention being there in partnership deed, you cannot, as a firm, pay salary or commission to the partners. You want to pay mutually decided among the partners and put that clause in the partnership deed, then only you can make the payment, otherwise not. Next, settlement of accounts on dissolution of the firm. As we discussed, dissolution is nothing but closing down the business. So in case you decide not to continue the business, then how to settle? Matlab, give the money, sell the assets, take the money, pay off your liabilities. After that, whatever remains, distribute among the partners. So how to go about all this? How to settle all these transactions? That also, the process of the same has to be mentioned in the partnership deed. Method of settlement of dispute among the partners. How you will settle the dispute? If possible, don't try to go to the court. Write it down that this fellow will take care of this fellow will take this fellow will take this. Or just mention as per mutual understanding of the partners. Try to give clarity as much as possible, so end may there are no disputes. So the process, decide mutually and put it in your agreement. Next, any other matter relating to conduct of business. If there is any something which is not specific, put a clause that if something extra happens, this is the way we will take care of that. So whatever is this, it's ultimately a mutual understanding between the partners. You partners आपस में decide amongst yourself how you will go about that, so that there is minimum dispute and things can be tackled very smoothly. These are your contents. Then see, what is the importance? Again the same thing. It is a written agreement, so that if it is written, has to be signed by the partners. So it's a written agreement signed by the partners, so there are minimum disputes. It contains all the terms and conditions. Again same points. Okay? It forms the basis of mutual relationship. Whatever is there is mutually understood among the partners, and then it is written. Partnership deeds regulates the right, duties and liabilities. Kiska kya responsibility, liability unlimited. It helps to solve further dispute. Since it is written, signed by the partner, dispute will be minimum. Okay? And it can be used as a proof in court of law. As I told you, oral agreement रहेगा, there is no proof. Written agreement रहेगा, there is a proof which can serve as a strong evidence in the court. So try to minimize. See, if there is a written agreement, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि there are no disputes. Written agreement, even if there is a written agreement, there will be disputes. But in that case, the disputes can be solved easily because it is in writing. As I mentioned, 99% people will always prefer a written agreement. Okay? So this was partnership deed ka contents and importance. Now the next part, provision of Indian Partnership Act. Again I am mentioning specifically 1932. याद रखना, very commonly asked question. Let's see the provisions. First, distribution of profit. As I told you, see, इसमें क्या है? Read that first paragraph. Provisions have to be mentioned. ये जो 6 points दिया है ना, that has to be considered if provision is not there. So how you want to go about, mention those in the deed. If the deed is silent, then you will follow all the 6. See, read that first paragraph carefully. Partnership deed is an agreement among the partners containing terms and conditions, but if the partnership deed is silent about any point, then in that case you have to follow this. Now let's take one by one. Distribution of profit. There has to be a profit sharing ratio. If not, see the first point, it is to be equal. Remember, the profit sharing ratio will be equal only when the partnership deed is silent, there is no specific ratio decided amongst the partners. Second, interest on drawings. They have to mention the rate and the period how it is calculated. If rate is not mentioned, you cannot charge interest. Rate is mentioned, you charge according to that rate. And if drawings ka date is not given, this will come as an important calculation in the practical part, then you have to take 6 months ka interest. So interest on drawings can be charged only when the rate of interest is mentioned, and in absence of information for the date of drawings, it has to be charged for 6 months. Important for objectives and आगे जाके sums में भी आएगा. Then interest on partner's loan. Very important for objective. Partner का loan पे interest, the rate of interest has to be given in the partnership deed. If the partnership deed is silent, then partner ka loan interest rate will be 6%. If a partner gives a loan, what interest he is to be paid has to be mentioned in the deed, and if the deed is silent, then the rate of interest will be 6%. If the deed is silent, then the rate of interest will be 6%. Keep that in mind. Interest on capital. If the deed is silent, you cannot pay interest. Keep this in mind. Interest on drawings and interest on capital. The partnership deed has to mention. If not, you cannot pay. Interest on loan, if nothing is mentioned, you will have to pay 6%. Or whatever is mentioned in the deed. But if nothing is mentioned, interest on partner's loan will be 6%. And capital and drawings ka interest, it has to be mentioned. Otherwise, you cannot pay. Next, salary or commission to partners. Again, as I mentioned, if a partner is to be paid salary or commission, then it has to be mentioned in the partnership deed. If the partnership deed is silent, you cannot pay salary or commission to the partners. Okay? Keep that in mind. And the last one, admission. As I told you, admission means bringing a new partners. There are two partners, A and B. They need somebody to handle the business in a better way, or they need extra money for any reason. They decide to bring a new owner. We will study this in the chapter when we come to the chapter admission of partners. So they bring a new partner. So whenever a new partner is coming in, he cannot enter without the consent of the other partner. Matlab, the existing owners, you need their consent. Without the consent of existing owners, you cannot bring the new partners. Okay? So this was provision. Again, I'll brush up. Interest on drawings and capital only when specified. Interest on partner's loan, nothing given, then you will pay them interest 6%. Profit sharing ratio should be given. If profit sharing ratio is not given, then equally. Admission of partners, without the consent of the partners, you cannot admit the new partner. Got it now? Now see guys, the last part. Method of capital accounts. Understand this. Method of capital accounts. No need to read this, just understand this. There are two methods. Understand this. Fixed and fluctuating. There are two methods, fixed and fluctuating. I will take fluctuating first because you all have done this in F5. Now see, fluctuating में क्या होगा? Suppose a partner brings a capital of 5 lakhs. ठीक है? ये उसका capital हो गया 5 lakhs. Now, during the year, profit is 1 lakh and the partner gets his share of 5 lakhs. So what will happen? ये 5 lakhs में his share of profit will be added. So क्या हो गया? 5 lakh plus 50, his capital became 550. Capital change हो गया. He has withdrawn 30,000. So less drawings 30,000. So now what happens? 5 lakh plus 50, 550, 550 minus 30. This partner ka balance became 520. So what happened? During the year, it fluctuated. His fixed amount was 5 lakh. He earned a profit of 50 and he withdrew 30. So his closing capital means capital at the end of the year became 520. Initially it was 5 lakh, it became 520. So what happened? It kept on changing. So this is called as fluctuating capital. Fixed में क्या होगा? His capital, same example, 5 lakh. But this 5 lakh is going to be fixed. You cannot touch this. यहाँ पे ये change हुआ. Now, if the same thing is there, what will happen? This adjustment na, share of profit 50,000 and drawings 20. 50 minus 20. Drawing has to be subtracted. To drawings 30. 50 minus 30. This 20 you will show it in a separate account called as current account. So see what will happen. Fluctuating mein capital will keep on changing. Fixed mein your capital will remain fixed 5 lakhs. Whatever are the adjustments other than capital, share of profit drawings, for that you will open a separate account called as current account. Very important for objective. Current account is opened when the capital is fixed. Understand the difference. Fluctuating, why I did this? Because you all have done in SYJC. Yaad hai na? Capital, add net profit, less drawings. So your capital amount changes. So when your capital amount keeps on changing, it is called as fluctuating. And when I say fixed, 5 lakh will remain fixed, and the other adjustments you will do by opening a current account. So current account is an additional account which is opened when the firm follows fixed capital method. It is not compulsory. You can follow whatever method you want. If you want to follow fluctuating method, you follow this. If you want to follow fixed, you follow fixed. But what you decide once, you have to do that. You cannot keep on changing the method of capital. So this is fixed and fluctuating. Don't see that theory, because aage jaake when I do the sums, it will be more clearer. Just understand this example. So two methods, fixed and fluctuating. Fixed may capital amount remain same. Adjustments, other adjustments will be done in current account, and fluctuating may the amount of capital changes. Everything will be in capital account. In this, you'll have to prepare capital account, and here you have to prepare current account in addition to capital. So यहाँ पे there will be an extra account called as current. इसमें only capital, इसमें capital and current both. So fixed में amount of capital remains fixed. Other adjustments to be done by opening a current account, and fluctuating में everything is adjusted in capital account. There is no need to prepare current account. Just understand this example. It's more than enough. Rest we will do in detail when we get into the practical part. Now listen. Every chapter there are plenty of objectives given, but this chapter ka objective you will not study now. Let me finish full final accounts. After that you will go through each and every objective. After that you will go through each and every objective. So right now stay away from the objectives. When we finish the chapter, that time, because there will be many things which as and when we do the sums, the points will keep on coming. So there is no point in wasting time right now. Now understand the two videos what are there for introduction to partnership. So in the next class I will start with the main part, that is partnership final accounts. And don't worry, before I get into SYJC final accounts, 2 to 3 sessions, 2 to 3 videos we will discuss SYJC ka base, so that those who are not with me in SYJC or those who are with me, and most of y'all I know that y'all have not seen the videos. So I'll give you a brush up in 2 to 3 videos of SYJC so you get the base of final accounts, and then we will start with SYJC ka final accounts. So again I'm repeating the 2 videos of today, introduction to partnership. You all are not going to get a theory question, but it will be in the form of objectives. 2 to 3 marks, if you're lucky 4 marks can come from this particular chapter. So these 2 videos you have to just listen and understand from the base of partnership firm point of view and objectives point of view. That's it for today, guys. Listen to the videos carefully. In case you have any doubts, please feel free to connect with me, and the next class we will start with final accounts. Okay? Till then, take care, guys.